to GRTS News with me, Winifred Nicole, but first, the headlines. The Vice President unveiled a multi-million-dollar flour milling factory to increase investment and employment opportunities in the Gambia. A Nigerian airline, Air Peace Limited, launches its Banjul branch to ease air transportation within the sub-region. Somali returnees recount their ordeal in the hands of their smugglers in Libya. They conduct nationwide operation against militant groups, one of the biggest crackdown on insurgency since 2013. Well, viewers, those are the headlines. Thanks for joining us once again. The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs has unveiled a multi-million-dollar flour milling factory owned by a Gambian business tycoon, Ahmed Mili of Nessim Trading, who is based in Mauritania. The foreign direct investment underscores the ongoing efforts to increase investment and employment opportunities to boost the country's economy. Seni Marena tells us more.
Owned by Gambian-based Mauritanian business tycoon Ahmed El Meli, this massive flour milling and animal nutrition factory being commissioned by the Vice President, Aja Fatmata Jallo Tambaja, joins the list of new developments marking the Gambia's 53rd independent anniversary. Company officials said the venture will create jobs and make the Gambia an export giant in the sub-region. The factory have the capacity to supply other West African countries with flour and animal feed with a daily production capacity of 200 tons of wheat or more every day.
The government and the people of the Gambia welcome strategic economic investments such as this one, knowing that no country can fully realize economic investments such as this. This inauguration is therefore an encouragement as it shows the response of the private sector to call for the partnership and socio-economic development of the Gambia.
The Vice President hailed the Nessim investors for initiating this massive business enterprise while expressing government commitment to boosting private sector investment.
The government of the Gambia places very high premium on private sector investment. This government will continue to provide very conducive environment which will help businesses and investors to remain competitive.
Mr. Ahmed El Mali is the man behind this considerable investment of $14 million US. Tourism and Culture Minister Hamad Bah said the new government has already created a favorable environment for private sector investment.
Be thankful that the President of the Republic himself, President Adam Barrow, was a businessman prior to becoming a president. Therefore, he has a lot of respect and concern for the business community, no doubt about that.
Abdul Wahab Sharif is the foreign trade manager of Nessim Trading.
We choose to invest in the Gambia because the Gambia is our home. Mauritania and Gambia have been brothers for ages, and that will continue for eternity.
Vice President Tambaja later toured the new flour milling factory where she was shown firsthand how flour and animal feed is processed. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Seni Marina.
Meanwhile, the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Fatoumata Jallow Tambajan, Monday presided over the inauguration of the ultra-modern cargo complex at the Gambia International Airlines complex in Banjul. The program is part of celebrations marking the country's 53rd independence anniversary. Asatu Keta has more on that.
After the laying of the foundation stone for this cargo facility by the former government in July 2013, the project is finally seeing the light of day. The project, dubbed trade facilitation through increased logistics, infrastructure and service, was implemented under the enhanced integrated framework of the Trade Ministry, who have invested more than $2 million into the scheme.
The enhanced integrated framework stands ready to continue our support to the government of the Gambia as it expands to its full potential and carves its space into the international trade and multilateral trading system. Today, the Gambia is clearly open for business, and the EIF looks forward to continuing our contribution to this positive ongoing transformation. We hope to continue to be a part of the changes occurring here and building a reality of sustainable, equitable, and prosperous growth.
The project aims to increase the Gambia's participation in international trade, improving livelihoods in the tourism, horticulture, and fisheries export subsectors. Aside from its benefit to small-scale farmers, the massive cargo facility is built and positioned to promote trade facilitation and reinforce logistics infrastructure at the airport through improved institutional arrangements.
This complex occupies an area of 840 square meters with a capacity to handle 60 tons of shipment with 2 cold rooms to store perishable items waiting to be airlifted. The facility also provides office space for GIA, GCAA, and GRA staff. In our industry, safety and security are 2 issues that are closely watched. To ensure cargo leaving the country is safe on board, the project bought a scanning machine from Rapid Scan.
The program continues its building of human capacity and provision of support services for transparency and quality services to exporters and smallholder businesses.
One of the biggest benefits of this particular complex is that it will enable GIA and its stakeholders to meet international safety and security standards in the handling of cargo. I just strongly believe that with this complex, the Gambia will be able to attract other international airlines, particularly for the transportation of cargo.
For the government, this couldn't have come at a better time as the country embraces the road to economic recovery.
My government, recognizing the support that the EIF has brought to the country through the Ministry of Trade and all trade-related institutions, state of the Gambia, positioning the country as an attractive freight cargo hub in the sub-region, therefore contributing to future economic development and prosperity. It is envisaged that the results of the project will stimulate both local and national economy, hence contribute to improved livelihoods in the horticultural and fisheries export subsectors. This is the end of the
development is a plus to the Banjul International Airport, which now boasts a facility to help increase the number of smallholder exporters and facilitate access to competitive and new airport infrastructure and services, boosting exports and positioning the country as an important cargo hub in the sub-region. For GRTS News, I am Aissatou Keita.
The Gambia's 53rd Independence Anniversary celebrations brought together hundreds of Gambians from across the country. But the main highlights of the event was the attendance of the country's founding father, Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara. It was a rare public appearance for the Gambia's first president. Mamoudou S. Jallo has more on that.
A symbolic and an emotional handshake between the country's past and present leaders at a historic event. The father of the nation and first president of the Gambia, Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, stunned the whole country by making a surprise appearance at the 53rd Independence Anniversary celebrations. Many did not see this happening, but the man who had fought so hard for this day to happen defied old age to join hundreds of Gambians at the Makati Square to celebrate independence. It was both joyful and emotional to see the aging elderly statesman emerge from his car to take up his seat. At 94 and still counting, this was a rare public appearance for the former head of state. For many, a rare chance to meet the man they have adored and respected, and also a reunion with some of the old guards, like the Minister of Agriculture, Omar Jallo, who served in the same capacity under Sir Dauda in the First Republic. Returning to the Makati Square after so many years brought back some fond memories for the former First family. It was here in 1965 that Sir Dauda finally succeeded in freeing the Gambia from colonial rule and the beginning of self-rule.
I have no doubt that this visit will further strengthen relations and increase the cooperation which exists between our two countries.
An educated and a handsome-looking young man at the time to an elderly 94-year-old, the trained veterinary doctor from Barajalipuli continues to command a great deal of respect and admiration from Gambians and non-Gambians alike. When President Adama Barrow mounted the podium to deliver his second independence speech, he began by paying tribute to Sir Dauda.
Your Excellency, former President of the Republic of the Gambia, Dauda Kairaba Jawara. We acknowledge his coming to attend the 53rd independence of this beautiful country. He is the father of the land, and I think this is a vote of confidence to our new administration that we are on the right track. So we thank him for coming.
Sir Dauda left midway through the celebrations, but his brief appearance means a lot. An added color to this ceremony, which saw another spectacular parade by the country's gallant armed and security personnel. Accompanied by the army band's melodious songs, the men and women in uniform march elegantly past their commander-in-chief. This will surely be a lasting memory, and Gambians will continue to pray for the father of the nation and hope he returns or live long to celebrate many more of these great deeds he and other Gambians fought so hard to achieve. Mohamed Jallo, GRTS News.
Airpeace Limited Monday launched its Banjul branch at a ceremony held at the Banjul International Airport on Monday. The Nigerian Airlines entry to the Gambia's air transport industry seeks to ease free movement of goods and services within the region for socio-economic growth. Louis Mendy has the rest of that story.
A significant day for Airpeace Limited. The Nigerian private airline founded in 2013 on Monday launched its Banjul office. The development now makes it possible for the airline to offer flights 4 times a week between Banjul and Lagos from Sunday to Wednesday and on Fridays, something already put to a test by this maiden voyage.
The launch of our Freetown, Banjul and Dakar services today brings our regional network to 4 routes and a total of 16 domestic and West Coast destinations with more than 80 daily flights. In the next few weeks, we hope to add 5 more services to expand our regional route network to a total of 9 destinations. This broad route network, we believe, will form a solid base to link African nations and connect the continent to the rest of the world by air.
Airpeace Limited is boasting of over 20 aircrafts, each named after one of the sons of the proprietor. This one, called Obina, is a 114-seater.
This is a very significant day for Airpeace. Today's historic event is the realization of our pledge during the launch of Airpeace Accra Ghana service on February 16, 2017 to unlock the economies of Africa, offer air travelers on business and leisure trips, seamless connectivity, as well as trade jobs for the people.
The launch ceremony which took place at the Banjul International Airport was graced by the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority and staff of the AP's airline who jetted into the country for the occasion.
Banjul International Airport will actually facilitate your operation here at all angles, and I hope we will work together as well. On behalf of the Director General, Board of Directors of Gambia Civil Aviation, Gambia Civil Aviation staff, you are welcome, and thank you very much. Very short.
So everybody here is excited to be here, and I know that this union between LPs and the Gambia will last for long, and we all achieve our dream and our aims in the name of Almighty God. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody that is here. Let's take a word to the people that LPs is here to bridge the gap of that stress and that pain of traveling within Africa. I'm a musical artist. Most times when we are supposed to do a show in any of the African countries, we end up hiring a jet because we have to spend extra, because there's no way we can connect these routes easily. But thanks to LPs for trying to make this easy for us this time.
The Nigerian ambassador to the Gambia was also at hand to show his solidarity with the company.
I also want to commend the management and staff of the LPs Airlines for being able to see the potential of wanting to come to the Gambia. I can tell you that this is a very beautiful country with a lot of potentials in terms of air services, and you will not regret coming in here. We from Nigeria have actually been wondering why we don't have 2, 3, 4 of our airlines flying into the Gambia.
Regionally, AirPeace also flies to Accra, Abidjan, Dakar, and other countries in the region. Within Nigeria, it flies from Abuja to Oyo. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The United Kingdom has congratulated the people of the Gambia on the country's re-entry to the Commonwealth family of nations. According to a press release from the UK Home Office, during his recent visit to the Gambia, the UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office Minister, Lord Tariq Ahmed of Wimbledon, met with the President of the Republic, Adama Barrow, and other senior government officials to discuss the Gambia government's commitments in keeping with the Commonwealth's principles of democracy. The UK government also hailed Gambia's progress on human rights and governance under the new Gambia. The UK foreign ministers also extend invitation to the Gambian President Adama Barrow on behalf of the UK Prime Minister to attend the next Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in April in the United Kingdom, and look forward to working with the Gambia as a Commonwealth partner. Lord Ahmed, a recent visit to the Gambia, also availed him the opportunity to meet with civil society organizations, human rights groups, and members of the international community, as well as women organizations, the release concludes. We will be back with the sports news right after this break. Welcome back. Athletes representing all the regions of the Gambia Sunday took part in the Independence Athletics Championships at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. Serial champions West Coast Region emerged champions of the Primary School Championship. MS Jallo has more in this report.
It has now become a no contest for Region 2 as West Coast Region once again brushed aside 5 other regions to win the 2018 Inter-Regional Primary School Athletics Championship and successfully defend the title. The National Championship is part of activities marking the country's Independence Day The best athletes in primary schools from the 6 educational regions converge on the Independence Stadium to contest for the national flag. The event, which is an important activity of the country's independence celebrations, is jointly organized by the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and the Primary School Sports Association.
Very important, in fact, because most of these national athletes have to pass through us. That's the foundation, that's the lower basic school, that's the primary school, have to pass through us and then graduate to the senior and the upper and the senior level, and then to national level. So it's very important, very, very important.
Defending champions West Coast region led from start to finish. Team West Coast, seen here in blue, dominated most of the events, finishing ahead of the rest with ease. The 100 and 200 meters races for junior, intermediate, and senior boys and girls were virtually all won by Region 2. The other regions seemed to do well in the field and fun events, like the sack race, which was won by Region 4's Mumudes Jala. Region 1 won the bucket balance race, but despite that, midway into the championship, West Coast region had already opened up an unassailable lead, leaving the chasing path to battle for second place. Despite a late fight from North Bank region in the relay events, it wasn't enough to dethrone West Coast region from the lead. After what was an exciting afternoon with some thrilling races and photo finishes, West Coast won comfortably, followed by North Bank region. Region 1, that is Banjul and Canopy municipality combined, came third. Lower River region in fourth. Central River region and Upper River region finished 5th and 6th respectively.
Anyone who wanted to compete with me, the foreigner you see yourself last. Our way of training is even different.
Whilst West Coast continues to dominate, little has changed in the championship. Lack of proper athletics chairs and athletes running barefoot is still the case. We need to see improvements in each championship, and hence challenging the organizers and the regional authorities to do more for their respective teams. As we celebrate 53 years of nationhood, this important championship must also grow. We should not be seeing the same running gears every year. The age of some of the athletes continues to raise eyebrows. Some really in primary school. But in the meantime, congrats to West Coast region. Modest Jalo, GRTS Sports.
Saturday's regional final between Basse and Tumana failed to wrap up after players and fans occupied the field to protest the assistant referee's call for a retake of a controversial penalty kick. Modulamin Sane has more.
This ugly situation forced the referee to call off the game that was supposed to be the first preliminary final of the coalition tournament. The game failed to produce a winner with only 23 minutes played into second half.
We have witnessed a controversy here. We have not automatically taken decision. So all we are doing as a committee, we have cancelled the match for today. We will sit overnight to redress the issue as soon as possible. It's not going to take us 24 hours to settle this matter.
Yes, it has not ended well. That is not the desire of the regional sports committee. But this is in anticipation for the coalition final that will be held in Banjul. But as it stands, the final is being cancelled. But nonetheless, we have given them the opportunity. Hence, they have done the tournament, and they have looked around within the URL, all the districts, and they know all the talents that are available. So we have given them that opportunity to assemble the right team for URL to participate in the coalition final that will be held at the Independence Stadium in Banjul.
This is one event introduced by the Ministry of Youth and Sport across all regions to reflect and celebrate the coalition movement.
Well, why I am organizing this tournament is to bring peace in this country. Because let us all remember that the freedom we have today, it was not fought by one political party. It was fought by 7 different political parties and 1 independent candidate, which makes 8 in the group. So I think this freedom doesn't belong to one Gambian. It belongs to all of us as Gambians. And this peace, as I always said, we are not going to compromise the peace of this country. Because His Excellency President Adama Barrow is for every Gambian.
Winners of the tournament at various regions will meet at the stadium to compete for the Grand National Trophy called Gambia Has Decided. Reporting for GRTS Sports, I am Murla Minsane.
We will take our second break now. Welcome back, and over now to the international scene. 11 Somali migrants have arrived home after being held captive in Libya for years. The North African nation has been criticized for the treatment of African migrants in recent months. CGTN's Abdul Aziz Bilo has more on that story from Mogadishu. Please be advised this report contains graphic footage.
Home at last for these 11 Somali nationals evacuated from Libya. They include this family of 6, a father, mother and 4 children. The 11 migrants are the first batch to be freed from Libyan captors. More than 5,000 Somali migrants are believed to be in various detention facilities across the strife-torn North African nation. The returnees speak of harrowing experience at the hands of their captors in Libya.
Libya is a terrible place. Hundreds of migrants are being held in various detention centers. Many of my friends have died there. My close friend died from internal bleeding because he couldn't handle the beating.
My family spent $15,000 to secure my release. It was torture all along. The smugglers raped young girls. Some were forced into marriage.
Mariam Yassin is Somalia's special envoy for migrants and children's rights. She led a government delegation to Tripoli, and it's there that she met hundreds of young Somalis. Her team was, however, unable to convince all of them to return, but she tells me that they won't give up.
Those we managed to bring back were initially in detention camps south of Libya, especially from Kufra and Bin Walid. Some paid smugglers, others ran without being known. They came to our embassy in Tripoli, having suffered all sorts of atrocities.
For years, criminal gangs continue to use social media sites such as Facebook, posting videos and images online of young men and women being tortured and later sent to their families back home with a ransom demand, with some ranging from $8,000 to $10,000. It's such videos that continue to create concerns among many African families. This video posted on Facebook reveals emaciated children, some as young as 15, mainly from Ethiopia and Somalia, in a concrete room in an undisclosed location in Libya. The African Union also recently decried reports on the auctioning of African migrants in Libya as slaves, something these former migrants also acknowledge. Authorities here in Mogadishu say that they have begun programs aimed at creating employment opportunities for the country's young people, but that hasn't addressed the needs on the ground. 75% of the country's total population is made up of the youth, who plan to migrate either one way or another, hoping that life has to be better somewhere else. Abdul Aziz Bilo, CGTN, Mogadishu, Somalia.
CGTN's Adel Al-Mahrouki with more.
The Egyptian military operation Sinai 2018 continues with what the army says is a mission to cleanse the country from terrorism. Earlier, President el-Sisi has commissioned the Army Chief of Staff to eradicate militant groups by the end of February, just weeks before the vote for the presidential election. This week, however, military officials say Sinai 2018 will take all the time it needs to achieve its goals.
The operations timeframe is the necessary time needed to complete its mission. It could take more or less time than previously anticipated. During that time, there will be no compromise to their safety, unless they are in the areas of engagement with the extremists. The military operations are just the first part of the Sinai 2018. It will end when residents can go to their work and children walk to their schools with no fear.
The Egyptian Armed Forces has been releasing daily statements about the accomplishments of Operation Sinai 2018. So far, it says 63 terrorists have been killed, over 1,300 suspects and convicts arrested, a total of 1,056 hideouts and weapons warehouses were demolished. More than 200 vehicles and motorcycles have been destroyed, 250 improvised explosive devices defused, and 1.5 tons of C4 explosive material confiscated.
Our security and intelligence apparatuses have noticed many threats to Egypt from all directions. We know that the successes achieved in Iraq and Syria has driven terrorists to plan creating a new stronghold in the region. One of these locations could have possibly been in the Sinai.
The Armed Forces spokesperson stresses that their troops are abiding to all human rights regulations and that military personnel have been supporting civilians with supplies and medical health care. Moreover, the Air Force has been instructed to avoid striking residential areas. An ISIS-affiliated group called the Sinai Province has released a video threatening to attack polling stations during the upcoming presidential election scheduled on March 26th. The government says that with military Operation Sinai 2018, it's hoping to diminish the capabilities of these militant groups to secure that vote. Adil Mahroui, CGTN, Cairo.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of today's main stories. The Vice President has unveiled a multi-million-dollar flour milling factory to increase investment and employment opportunities in the Gambia. A Nigerian airline, Air Peace Limited, has launched its Banjul branch to ease air transportation within the sub-region. Somali returnees have been recounting their ordeal in the hands of their smugglers in Libya. And Egypt's army have been conducting nationwide operation against militant groups, one of the biggest crackdown on insurgency since 2013. Well, viewers, that was all in this edition of the News at 10. From me, Winifred Nicol, and the entire news team. Thanks for your time, and do stay with GRTS.